Vet spots animals acting strange during field trip. He says, "This isn't good. We should run." The story of this family may not be unique, but it is nonetheless interesting. Just imagine, these people live in the mountains on the border of the Turkish region of Tunceli and Erzincan at an altitude of 2,500 meters. There's not a soul around. Climbers at an altitude of 2,500 meters found a family that practically does not communicate with people, does not know the language well, and has not heard of other countries. Travel, mountains, Nakhodka, family, hermits, shepherd, society, long post climbers stumbled upon this family in 2018. Ishmael Atesh and Haydar Sitenka, they were very surprised to see the way of life of people and communicate with them. This is what the head of the family, Hussein Tashar, who at the time was exactly 80 years old, told the climbers. It turned out that Hussein spent his entire life in this house, and his ancestors lived on this mountain, settling here 300 years ago. Climbers at an altitude of 2,500 meters found a family that practically does not communicate with people, does not know the language well, and has not heard of other countries. According to the man, he has been with his wife for exactly 50 years. Back he went to the mainland and then brought him here. Over the course of 50 years, the couple had 10 children. 5 of them have been living away from their families for more than 30 years. Children scattered to cities in search of a better life, and all this time there was no news from them. 5 children remained with the elderly. The oldest of them is now 40 years old. The head of the family grazes livestock. They have several sheep and a cow, and occasionally goes down to the nearest village to get flour and the most necessary things in everyday life. It's a very long walk to the village. This takes a day. The small settlement where Hussein descends is also located in the mountains. The life of this small village is somewhat reminiscent of the life of Hussein's family. The children who remained with Hussein never communicated with their peers, did not go to school, speak Turkish poorly, switching to a local very rare dialect. They don't know there are states in the world. They've never held money in their hands, not to mention telephones and other things familiar to us. They had no electricity at all, no running water, etc. At first they were afraid of the climbers and vet, hid in the house, but then they realized that the strangers would not harm them and decided to communicate. The visiting climbers did not leave this issue unresolved. They appealed to the authorities to help the family living in appalling conditions, and they were helped. Their documents were restored, the elderly were given pensions, and some family members were given disability benefits. However, they flatly refused to move anywhere. By the way, they also helped to find the children from whom there had been no news for a very long time. They all settled well, started families, worked, some received a good education. Animal experts gave a drowning wolf heart massage and oxygen in a dramatic bid to save its life after it was found trapped in an icy river. The operation was caught in a series of photographs taken by members of the team, and they showed the blanket-covered male wolf being carried away on a stretcher after being pulled from the freezing water. A specialist animal rescue team had been called to the woods after a walker spotted a wolf struggling to drag itself out of the river. It had somehow managed to fall into the water and had been quickly overcome by the effects of hypothermia. Scared and suffering, a wolf that had been struggling to get out of a freezing lake near Bologna, Italy, is subdued by a tranquilizer before animal experts move in. Safe and warm. After receiving life-saving cardiac massage and oxygen, the wolf was wrapped up in blankets and stretchered to a nearby veterinary clinic. Frightened and suffering, the animal instantly evaded all attempts to approach him by the team. Finally, and despite risks that the wolf could slip under the surface and not reemerge, the team decided to use a tranquilizer to subdue him. It took almost an hour to bring the animal out of the water at Woods in Camunago near Bologna. Once out of the water safely on the bank, a member of the team gave the critically ill creature life-saving heart massage as well as oxygen before it was rushed to a specialist veterinary center. A team member involved in the rescue said the wolf was very weak as it had been struggling in the cold water for a long time. Each time we approached him, He would move along the riverbank because he was so scared. In the end, we used an anesthetic dart to put the wolf to sleep so that we could approach him safely, and once out of the water, he was given cardiac massage and oxygen. He was on death's door, but with the help of the emergency treatment from the team, he was rushed to the animal center and is now expected to make a full recovery. Officials say that around 100 wolves live in the woods near Camunagao and base their estimate on the number of half-eaten animal carcasses they found. The rescued wolf will be released back into the forest once recovered. Dear friends, if you liked the video, give it a like and also subscribe to the channel, where you'll find many more interesting things.